with me for a moment of silent prayer. At this time, I will turn the proceedings over to Commissioner Ken Robertson, who will conduct a special Pledge of Allegiance by Scouts and to introduce some Scouts that are here with us tonight.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, we are honored tonight to have two different troops represented here from the Boy Scouts of America. We've got Scouts from Troop 615, which is sponsored by the Church of Jesus Christ Latter-day Saints here in Statesville, North Carolina. The Scouts in attendance tonight are Ethan Helms, Matthew Goings, Anson Lloyd, Logan Elkins, Blake Barzy, Kelly Stouffer, and Jacoby Daniels. And their Scout leaders are Arlo Barzy, Danny Marlowe, Lee Walker, and Natalie Barzy. Also tonight, we've got some Scouts from Troop 171 in Mooresville, North Carolina, sponsored by Williamson Chapel United Methodist Church, and we've got Wyatt Nance and Kate Aris here, and Rob Nance is the adult leader. So at this time, if we could have the two Scouts from 171, if they'll come and lead us in a pledge to our nation's flag. I'll tell you what to do. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'd like to thank all the Scouts that are present with us this evening and the time that you take to learn about your community, about your faith, and about our country, and your willingness to help your community in many different ways. And so thank you again for being here, and we encourage you to not be strangers, to participate in whatever way you can in local governance and beyond, and serving your country ultimately. At this time, Mr. Smith, if you would please review the agenda. Are there any adjustments?
Mr. Chairman, I have one adjustment, and that is to remove under closed session item A, our attorney-client discussion under closed session.
Okay. Is there a motion to accept the agenda as adjusted?
So moved, Mr. Chairman.
Motion by Commissioner Johnson. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. We have no special recognitions or awards to present this evening. We do have one appointment before the board. Mr. Pete Meletis from Mooresville will be speaking to us about the Piedmont Veterans Assistance Council, Incorporated. Mr. Meletis, please, the floor is yours.
I want to thank you for the opportunity to speak to you about a very serious problem we all have here in Iredell County. I'm a member of the Military Order of the Purple Heart located in Iredell County, as well as the Marine Corps League. And about 3.5 years ago, it was brought to our attention that there were over 80 homeless veterans in and around the Iredell County area, living in the woods, sleeping in cars, sleeping in vans, and under the bridges. So I was fortunate enough to find 5 different homeless veterans in the Walmart parking lot, sleeping in trucks and vans. And, also, we also had some we found at the exit 33. The Sheriff's Department was working with us. They said, Pete, behind the food line up there, because that's where you'll find some. My wife, Vivian, says, don't go up there. I says, I've got to, because I understand who they are and I understand their language. And I was able to find 3 of them up there sleeping in the woods. Immediately, we were able to organize the Piedmont Veterans Assistance Council, a volunteer organization, and gain the support and interest of Iredell County Veterans Council, the Marine Corps League, the Disabled American Veterans, Military Order of the Purple Heart Homes, American Legion Post 65, 66, and 113, the Statesville Police Department, the Iredell County Sheriff's Department, and, of course, Brad Strout, who's the Iredell County Veteran Service Officer, and the Mooresville Soup Kitchen. Our mission is to provide assistance to all veterans and their families in Iredell County and surrounding counties who need assistance by alleviating their suffering, meeting critical physical needs, assist in assessing benefits from the VA and other organizations, to coordinate free transportation, which we furnish, as needed to the VA and other service providers. As Purple Heart Homes organization joined with us and donated a van to take veterans to the VA for appointments, and also that van is used to deliver food to the various locations where we are feeding these veterans. And, of course, to provide short-term shelter and food, offer assistance to transition to become independent living, to offer them hope, advice and direction back to a more productive life. And our long-term goal was to create a homeless shelter and transitional housing for the homeless, the veterans, and all in need. I currently serve as chairman of the Piedmont Veterans Assistance Council, and our dream is to fulfill all that we can to eliminate the suffering of homeless veterans sleeping in the woods, under bridges, in the cars, whatever, and provide the shelter for them. Anything else is not acceptable, not for these veterans that have done so much for us and to provide us the freedoms that we enjoy today. I was told, I mentioned earlier, that the sheriff's deputy told me that there was some up and staying in the woods at exit 33. I also found 5 different vehicles of homeless veterans in Walmart parking lot. Was able to bring several of them to the soup kitchen. We have helped, but there are more homeless veterans all over Iredell County. Now, some of them have left because of all the construction that's going on with the Interstate 40. Many of them have gone down toward Hickory in that area. But so we want to help with the Mooresville Soup Kitchen, with all the wonderful volunteers, feed over 150 people daily from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. and also provides packaged foods, frozen, given out to all who attend. Piedmont Veterans Assistance Council was able to team up with the Mooresville Soup Kitchen to create veterans stand-downs on the first and third Tuesdays of every month to feed homeless veterans, their wives, and veterans, and families in need. They are provided a meal to take home, supplies, and personal items to feed the families and give them information and help to bring them hope and direction back to where they may once again lead a productive life. Some of our veterans are there to talk to them. I'm one of them. Leon is another one. We go there and we counsel with them to try to gain their confidence and to lead them to the VA and all the things that we can do to help them. Are there to talk to them, to guide and direct them to the resources that can change their lives. Through donations, we were able to purchase freezers and other equipment that freezes dinners and packages so we can transport food to other areas of Iredell County, such as Statesville and North Iredell. We now have open feeding for the hungry and needy at the Church of the Nazarene in Statesville and at Light and Darkness Outreach Ministries in Iredell, North Iredell. Our long-range goal was to create a homeless shelter here in Iredell County, Statesville area, to bring veterans in from the sleeping in the vans, cars, trucks, and sleeping in the woods and under the bridges in sub-freezing temperatures. Now, folks, I know what sub-freezing temperatures is. I know what it is to live under conditions. Of course, this was in Korea, 55 below zero. Today, I can't stand the thought of 35 above zero. So failure cannot be an option, and we were determined to somehow find a vacant building or lot to help us achieve our goals. We're all volunteers that want to glorify God by making a difference in their lives. I've had the opportunity to meet and assist some of these homeless veterans. Some we have helped, but many more need our assistance. And we are grateful for the soup kitchen and all of our volunteers for what they are doing after 3.5 years of pursuing this, seeking. So after 3.5 seeking, God's will was about to happen with the Statesville Housing Authority. Darba Scaff and her board stepping up forward to offer Piedmont Veterans Assistance Council a large home that they are completely reconstructing to upfit it to be a veteran shelter, completely furnished, to be turned over to Piedmont Veterans Assistance Council with no cost to PVAC or to us for the first 5 years. Gentlemen, that's big. That's major. The location of the house is located at 1208 Wilson Lee Boulevard, Statesville. God's will was also to allow us to obtain the wonderful management of Patty West and her management team of Fifth Street Ministries to manage the veterans shelter. We now have got 3 community partners working together: Piedmont Veterans Assistance Council, Statesville Housing Authority, and Fifth Street Ministries, agreeing to commit to a letter of understanding as to what is expected of each partner to perform. PVAC and partners have signed this agreement, and we welcome other community partners to join with us on this worthy cause. We will be seeking community partners to help us to raise the funding for the daily operation costs of the shelter, as well as donations and support from our county leaders, civic, business organizations. We are soliciting community partners now to join with us to make this Veterans Center a reality. We're all God's children, and we must live to glorify His name by making a difference in people's lives. Let us now join together so we can offer the support to help these heroes who have sacrificed so much for all of us. Our freedoms in this country and in Iredell County are not free. We have many veterans sitting in this building right here, and we have some veterans are sitting on this board. The freedoms we enjoy to go to the beach, to go to the mall, to take for granted all the things that we can do, we owe a debt of gratitude to all the veterans. So that's the reason we say, let's show our gratitude by bringing these veterans and their families back to a productive life. And I appreciate the support that the county commissioners are giving us, their vocal support, and hopefully this will grow in the community where we can get other community leaders to join with us. In closing, let me say this. What greater cause is there, as far as God is concerned, than to feed the hungry and house the homeless, especially veterans? Thank you so much for allowing me to come, and thank you on behalf of all of our volunteers. God bless all of you.
Thank you, Pete. If you could, I know you have some representatives of the Piedmont Veterans Assistance Council as well as partners with 5th Street and others. If you could just introduce them or have them stand, please.
Leon is the vice chairman of this organization and also a veteran of Iraq. He wasn't in Korea with me because he was big. I'm Steve. That makes you an old man, that's right. Spencer Harrison is on our board, and Spencer is a veteran of Vietnam. This gentleman right here, I think you all know him. You know John Molina, and I can tell you that he's been a valuable partner to us. He's been a godsend, and we appreciate all that he has done. And this sweet young lady right here, would you please stand there? She and I have been talking for, 4 years now? Yeah. And we looked at a lot of properties, and we had setbacks and all that. She kept reminding me, Pete, it's God's will that this is going to happen. It's not your will or mine. And we're going to make it happen. So she is with 5th Street Ministries, and she is, thank God, she's on board to manage this great organization. And last but not least, my old friend, former mayor of Statesville, what did you say your name is? This is David Presley. I'm sure you all know it. David sits on our board of Piedmont Veterans Assistance Council. And last but not least, this is my wife here, Vivian. Okay. And Frank, would you stand up? Frank is our spiritual leader, Piedmont Veterans Assistance Council. Is anybody? All of you, thank you so much for coming.
If I could just take a moment of personal privilege, I do have some awareness of all the efforts that the Piedmont Veterans Assistance Council, together with many other organizations in the community, have put together to address the very real issue of homeless veterans. And you know, this is one of those true community coming together moments to take care of our own. You know, there are some things that government can do and do reasonably well, but there's a whole lot that government can't do very well at all. And taking care of people oftentimes falls to the many volunteer organizations that we have throughout our community, together with their volunteers. And many of them have come together to make this home for veterans, which is transitional in nature, where they have gone into 5th Street or some other very temporary shelter, and then demonstrate the desire and the ability to move the next step up, to be able to assume more responsibilities in their lives and to transition to a point where they can live independently in permanent type housing arrangements. And to make all that happen, I think, Pete has mentioned a number of the organizations, but, central to those is Mooresville Soup Kitchen, which has provided thousands of meals, not just to Mooresville, but here in Statesville and in Harmony, for not just homeless veterans, but folks that are living right on the edge, that paycheck to paycheck have difficulty stretching it and are in need of something as basic as some nutritious cooked meals as well as produce and other sundries. And the opportunity, I think, to leverage three organizations that we're bringing three different perspectives, the Statesville Housing Authority finding a home that has been renovated to commercial grade with sprinklers, and it's on Wilson Lee Boulevard, and it's part of a reclamation project, one other piece of the puzzle in that area. And I believe it can house up to about 6 veterans, but Statesville Housing Authority can get that built or renovated, but they're not in the business of running something like that. And PVAC doesn't have the expertise in doing that either. It has had a vision to help these folks and fundraise. But that's where Fifth Street stepped up, that has, and Mr. John Colleen, I believe, is the chairman of the board of directors, or is on the board of directors for Fifth Street, and working with the director, Patty West, has put together a program to be able to have someone on site full-time to manage the home, as well as a program coordinator to be able to work with other organizations such as Mitchell Community College and Goodwill Industries and our mental health providers to all be able to provide these veterans who have in some cases been dealing with the residual effects of combat, or in other cases who have just been unable to adapt for whatever reasons, or fallen on hard times, and they need a hand up and not a handout, and they're willing to grab that extended hand. And so it's all these community organizations, and I do want to give a shout out to Mr. Brad Stroud, our Veteran Services Officer. Not all counties have a Veterans Service Office, and he works to every day with multiple veterans to be able to link them up with the government-provided benefits that they may be entitled to, and that they earn, and in the process, he works with Fifth Street and will be working with Fifth Street to validate the bona fides and the actual service records of individuals who indicate that they're veterans, so that we can be providing that service to folks who have served. And I would be remiss in not mentioning that the Sheriff Campbell and Chief Barone have also been just absolute movers and shakers in this whole process in terms of providing support throughout this effort. So we salute you for your vision and your focus and your efforts and your tireless energies to turn this from a thought to a reality. And we wish you the best of luck as you continue to canvass the community for additional partners and support. Mr.
Chairman, if I can just build on one of the points that I'm glad that you made. During some of our most recent tight budgets that we incurred during the downturn of the economy, we looked at, well, what is Iredell County required to do, and what are the things that we do that we're not mandated by law. Actually, we're not mandated to have a recreation department. We're not mandated to have veteran services. Not mandated to have a library, and I think we're also not mandated to have EMS. That's an optional service that we provide. And when we went and we challenged and looked at ways that we could cut expenses when our revenue streams had fallen off so much, stopping our two-man department, two-person department actually, of veteran services just was never really considered. That was, this board, the boards before us for many, many years have taken care of veterans by helping them access the benefits that they earn has been a high priority of the elected officials of Iredell County, and I would say that we reflect the values and the priorities of the citizens of Iredell County. And I think that's just a symbolic connection, more than symbolic, but the fact that we've always had that office, we've always kept that office, and I can't imagine anybody ever recommended that we save money by abolishing that office and that service. I think says a great deal about the citizens of this county. So I just wanted to add that, Mr. Chairman. Thank you.
Well, once again, thank you very much on behalf of our veterans, and I will note that, there's over 25,000, I believe, veterans in North Carolina, in Iredell County. That's out of a population of 166,000. And unfortunately, quite a number of those are passing away with every day of our greatest generation. And even in our Korean war veterans and our Vietnam veterans are getting a little long in the tooth. But this county has always traditionally taken service to its country seriously, to defending our communities seriously, and that's one reason why, and of course the revolution, that this county was noted as a Patriot County. Actually, all of the precincts that we have that are named today originally were set out geographically based on companies of militia. And the names of those townships changed as the captain of that particular militia changed. And it was only in the 1800s that they decided, well, we probably just ought to pick a name and stick with it. So if you look back in our history, we take our defense very seriously, and we take those who answer the call to the colors very seriously, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Okay. All right, at this time, we'll proceed apace. We have no public hearings this evening. And we'll move to the administrative matters on our consent agenda, which were dealt with at our pre-agenda meeting. And Mr. Smith, if you would please summarize those for the record.
Yes, sir. First request was from Iredell-Statesville Schools for approval of lottery proceeds and budget amendment number 27 in the amount of $650,000. A request from the Health Department for approval of budget amendment number 28 for the Healthy Communities Grant Funds, and that totals $4,106. A request from Finance for approval of budget amendment number 29, appropriating $265,000 to the Cool Springs VFD for their new station. A request from the Register of Deeds to refund excise tax paid with the erroneous recording of a deed. A request for approval of corrected minutes for December 15th, 2015 and August 4th, 2015, and a request for approval of the minutes from February 16th, 2016.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Is there any further discussion on those items on the consent agenda? Is there a motion?
Motion to approve the agenda.
Motion to approve our consent agenda as made by Vice Chairman Norman. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. Now move on to the announcement of vacancies occurring on boards and commissions. There is a Board of Equalization and Review, 7 announcements, and those are all posted on our website. If anyone has an interest in serving on that board, please submit the required information with your application packet. The Centralina Workforce Development Board, we have one announcement due to the resignation of Deborah Brower. This is a board which needs some immediate action, and they have requested that we fill that position with Mary Ann Maldwin, who is the Chief Operating Officer with Roush Yates Racing Engines. Is there any further discussion on that matter? Is there a motion to suspend the rules to go ahead and fill that position this evening?
Mr. Chairman, I'd make the motion that we suspend the rules to be able to provide that motion this evening.
Motion by Commissioner Bowles. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to appoint Mary Ann Maldwin as the to the Centralina Workforce Development Board.
Mr. Chairman, I would offer Ms. Baldwin's nomination and that we appoint her by acclamation.
Motion to appoint by acclamation. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, like sign. All right. There are no appointments, no unfinished business that I'm aware of.
Mr. Chairman, actually, just as a reminder, we've had an open position on the Board of Adjustment for a while, and we do have a name for that, Jonathan Madison.
Okay. Now, was that the Board of Adjustment or the Statesville Airport?
The Board of Adjustment.
Okay.
We've actually had that one open for some time.
It's on your reminder list.
It's on the reminder. Okay.
Has anybody talked to him
Yeah, he's willing to do it.
on Board of Adjustment? That's,
I don't know why he'd want to do it, but he's willing to do it.
Okay. Well, is there a motion to appoint Jonathan Madison to the Board of Adjustment?
Make that motion.
Motion by Vice Chairman Norman. Any further discussion? All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Those opposed, like sign. Motion carries unanimously. There is no public comment period this evening. Is there any new business? None. Mr. Smith, if you'd please share the county manager's report.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Passing around a budget calendar. Actually, it's a proposed budget calendar at this point.
didn't we just do that?
I want to firm up a couple things.
Talking about the budget process.
Yes. Really what I'd like to do is bring your attention to the boxed-in area at the bottom. Usually around this time of year, we start talking about our budget work sessions. We were very efficient last year in our work sessions. We started doing instead of multiple nights where we had to stop and start, or start and stop, we went to a longer, basically a half-day meeting, covered a lot of ground that way and didn't have to pause. So what I'm proposing is that on May 5th and the 5th and the 17th, and we may not need both dates, that we look at a 12 to 5, a noon to 5 meeting. Honestly, I do not think we'll need all that time, but if we do, we can use that. And then, if necessary, go to May 19th with a 5:30 to 9 in the evening session. I've put down here June 7th as the public hearing and possible adoption. If you remember, for this year's budget, we had the public hearing and adoption the same night. But if it does not happen that way, we can have additional work sessions on June 9th, if needed, and then adoption on June 21st. Be happy to keep this kind of open-ended at this point, but want to get it in front of you to start looking at those dates to see if they're going to work for you.
I could tell you May the 17th would be a tough date
Same here.
for me to make.
Can I?
If that's the only time everybody else can meet, I can make it happen, but it'll be pretty tough. Other than that, I'm good.
Let me work with Retha on calendar.
Okay. Okay, well, we'll follow back up after you've got some time to look at it, and Commissioner Robertson working with Retha. But I just wanted to get that out to you as soon as possible so you can prepare.
Now, was May 17th a regular meeting? That's the
Yeah, I believe it is.
second.
It is.
It is.
Yeah. So that was preceding it. We have difficulty being here for the meeting in the evening, or is it just the afternoon?
Just the afternoon. I can.
Well, we can
if that's
work
the only
around
meeting-
that.
If that's the only time everybody can be here, I just need to know very early.
Does, well, look at the 16th, that's a Monday. All right. Does that work,
It's better.
Steve?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's pencil that in, and if everyone would just,
How about the week before? I mean, the week before is a whole lot better week for me, totally. The week of May 9th.
Yeah, and generally speaking, we've tried to keep them to commissioner meeting weeks. We've just done that in the past, but we're open.
At my request. You know,
That's-
it's worked for me in the past, it just doesn't this time.
But no reason not to do it that week before, if that's okay with you.
The week before is better for me. I've got something on the 19th with the Crisis Pregnancy Center that night.
And honestly, the earlier we can knock those out, the better off we are.
I would say starting May 9th.
well, let's just all take a look at that second week and share those dates with Ron, and he can deconflict them and give us some options. But I think that makes sense to go that second week of May.
That's fine.
Pick 2 days in there and let's lock them in quick.
I can do any time. If you could possibly work around the 17th on you, that's really the only
Yeah.
day that'd be very difficult.
If we can look to bracketing between Tuesdays and Thursdays, that'd probably be best. Okay. All right. Any other new business? As the agenda was adjusted, there will be no closed session. At this point in time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chairman.
So moved. All in favor, please say aye.
Stay for photos.